Okay, well, people are going to slowly be joining us, but we are conscious of time, so we want to get through this as best we can. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for joining us today for this information session on our Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator. We are going to take you through an overview of what you can expect. You'll hear from our facilitators as well as a former graduate of the program. And if you have any questions, you will have an opportunity to ask them at the end. So I am going to start sharing my screen and we'll get right into it. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. So I will get started with our Executive Director, Ms. Aisha Smith, who will welcome you to the meeting.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. We are so honored to have you with us today. And I'm really, really excited to be able, for us at BEDC, to host this information session. As you may not know, we have actually had a partnership with Enterprise and facilitating the Streetwise MBA program in Bermuda for a number of years. It has gone through a few iterations, and we've had partnerships with HSBC, Bermuda College, and approximately 3 years ago, BEDC took over running and facilitating the program. It is a wonderful program, and we really wanted to focus on bringing a program to Bermuda that focused on established entrepreneurs and business owners and how to help those business owners take their businesses to the next level. It really was about how can we figure out a support mechanism and a program that helps seasoned entrepreneurs to stop working on their business and to start working on their business. And so we're really excited about the evolution of this program and leading into now becoming the Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator. I am just over the moon that we have been able to do this. We're also excited that we're being able to offer this experience to seasoned and established entrepreneurs, complimentary and free. We wanted to figure out a way to remove the barriers to access all of the great things that will come with the experience. And so to be able to do this, I think has to be celebrated. What we hope that you achieve from this morning's information session, and hopefully you go on to participate in the program, is the opportunity to really focus on your business, to grow it to the next level, which is more important than ever before, given the climate that we're in and the impact of COVID-19, but also to establish a circle of peer CEOs that you can go to, that you can count on, that you can bounce ideas off of, and then ultimately to connect your business and your entrepreneurial ideas, not just in Bermuda, but to those alumni that are in this program overseas and around the world. So I want to welcome you. I'm excited to have all of you here today, and we really hope that you engage and you follow through to being in this what we consider to be a revolutionary program for Bermuda. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. And so for those of you who are just joining on, my name is Jamila Lodge. I'm the Communication and Development Director at BEDC, and I also am a facilitator of the curriculum, and will be working closely with the facilitators for this current cohort that's coming up and the program manager to ensure that you get the support that you need throughout the program. So what I'm going to do in the first instance, we're going to do a little icebreaker, and then I'm going to give you an overview of the Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator. So for the icebreaker, we're going to break out into groups. And it's called A Rose and a Thorn. And this is based on your business. So what we would like you to do is to discuss for about 5 minutes a positive thing. This is the rose that makes you feel grateful for your business. And then the thorn would be a challenge. And if you can identify one person in your group to kind of be the lead and report out, that will be great. So when we come back to the larger group, then you will have the ability to share some of those common positives and common challenges that you may have experienced. I'm going to try to put this in the chat as well, so everyone will have it while we get the breakout groups set up. So identify a positive. All right, so can everybody see that in the chat? The groups are set up? Great. So I believe that the groups being set up means that you should receive a message instructing you to go into a group, and then you could just join the group that you're in once you see your name. Okay. All right.
Marisabel, are you able to join the group?
Breakout sessions are always too short. It's irritating.
I know we'll get to talk when we do the callback.
Hey, Jamila, you're on mute.
Thank you, Pierre. Appreciate you. We'll get there. So I was just saying, thank you guys for participating in the breakout sessions. And what we can do is have each group report out. And because I was in a group and Neil was our reporter, I'll give him the opportunity to go first. So Neil, you can unmute yourself and take it away.
That's the second time this morning you asked me to go first, with apologies for my daughter in the background screaming her head off, but that's what school's like for 6-year-olds nowadays. Just in terms of the positive roses and thorns, Keela has positive as she's got a business where she hasn't had to bung in a bunch of capital. So that obviously helps. But the negative, she doesn't have any control of, I guess, well, she's had space, but I presume that's room and being able to run her Pilates and yoga programs, which is something I need to do a lot more of too. Christopher, I didn't catch exactly what you were doing, but your positive is you've got a growing, thriving business, and your negative is that to do that, at some point you've got to add additional resources, and when do you add people to do that in an economic way? Connect, marketing consultant, because of the virtual world, she's actually in more than one location, so she's able to travel and do her work from anywhere. The negative is she's trying to open up a new clothing line, and she needs capital and a chance to focus on that.
What about yours, Neil?
Yeah, my program is, the positive is I get to help a lot of young people in Bermuda, and the negative is it's still in its infancy, so I'm trying to do a full-time job and do this and do them both well.
Thanks for that. Appreciate you, Neil. So the next group.
So, morning everyone. Our group, we had 2 entrepreneurs in our group, and Damon has an energy company, and his rose is that he can save people lots of money on energy in Bermuda, which is a huge plus. But his thorn is the high cost of capital and trying to get funding to support that. And Omar has a business called Pool Boys, and his rose is helping people to maintain their pools to save money that way. But his thorn was trying to get customers through the door and not understanding who exactly his customer is so that he can market directly towards them.
Thank you. And I think there's one more group.
Hi, so Woz was the third group. And so we had Andrea, who said that she has genuine people that supported her idea from the start, and that she was also passionate about her business, so it made it easy to operate. And her challenge was the idea of starting a business, the obligations, and not knowing if it was going to work. So you have to pay all these government obligations before you even know if your business is going to be successful. And then also the cost of duty for retail and having to let customers know that the price, what the price is, versus them seeing it online and being like, well, how come it's not this, but not understanding all the other things that have to go into it for it to come to Bermuda. Then we had Michelle White, who said that taking over the business, her rose was taking over the business, starting from the bottom. You had nowhere else to go but up. And so that was a plus for her. And that each day she was getting new clients. So each day getting a new client just shows the progress of moving forward. And her thorn would be because it was a temp agency, that part of it crashed. And so she had to end up doing jobs, work permits, which was something that she was trying to get away from. but just turning it around and making it a positive. And if it's helping to make the business survive, then, you know, sometimes you have to do what you got to do. We also had Eureka, who said that her rose was meeting customer expectations and being able to exceed them. And her thorn was having to transition from a physical to an online, doing it from a physical location to doing it online, and the loss of seeing that disappear and being able to feel comfortable with, you know, doing it online and moving forward that way. We also have Valida, who said that she was contemplating starting a business and may be something that she still wants to do, but obviously due to COVID and how things are going right now, it's not an option. And I would say for myself, I agree with Andrea. Doing something that you're passionate about and that you absolutely love just makes it much easier. Being, you know, wanting to help people and providing that service just makes it so much easier. For me, my challenge has always been helping customers to understand the value of what you're doing and getting them to pay on time. And especially when you're dealing with small businesses, because it's hard themselves, you know, they're just starting. You know, so just trying to drive that financial piece in.
Well, thank you all for sharing and participating. As I mentioned in our group, this is probably the way in which we will be delivering a portion of the course. So because the course sessions work well when you can work collectively, we will be utilizing breakout groups to be able to have those small discussions and things like that. And when we came back on, Andrea mentioned that there's never enough time in the breakout room. So definitely when the course starts, we will have more time, but understanding that we have limited time today, we had to keep it short and sweet. But hopefully you got to know a little bit about one another and can see that there are some shared challenges. And we feel that this course or curriculum should be able to address all of them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator. Basically, our role is to provide a diverse group of entrepreneurs like yourselves the opportunity to hone your skills and make connections. And we say that because we expect you as the entrepreneurs to know how to do what you do great already. Our role is to help you hone that and to focus on some things that maybe sometimes goes by the wayside because you're focused on building the business and that sort of thing. So you don't have a chance to stop and take the time to kind of develop the business. And that's what this accelerator program will allow you to do. So it's very intensive. And we say that because the only way that you're going to benefit from this curriculum is if you commit to doing the work. So spend the 6 months with us. It's 13 weeks. And we're looking for you as CEOs of your companies, right? It's a growth program. So the ideal person has been in business for at least 3 years and have some sales under their belt. We are utilizing the award-winning Streetwise MBA curriculum, and we do have an Enterprise representative on the line who will talk about their role and how the curriculum works and some of the exciting things that have come about from those other countries or nations who have utilized this curriculum to help their entrepreneurial ecosystem flourish. Again, it's created by Enterprise, and you get a recognized accreditation from the University of Boston. So although it's not a MBA from a university, you will get an accreditation because essentially you're going through all of the same sort of modules that you would if you were getting an MBA. But the benefit is that it's specific to your business, and that's why we chose to take it on. So our commitment to you as entrepreneurs is to position you to develop networks for contracting opportunities for now, as well as in the future, create a pipeline to drive revenue growth for you as a small business owner, and build the capacity to help you meet and exceed contract performance requirements. So this is what you will receive. So Enterprise, the way we work with Enterprise is they provide us with a curriculum. So it literally is a roadmap, a proven roadmap. It works. They provide us with training and support. We have to get retrained and recertified, making sure that we keep on track with new developments. And then they also do the quality assurance and impact evaluation. So part of your commitment to taking the program is that you will complete surveys at the end of the first year, second year, and third year, just so we have some metrics to see if it's working, right? Because if it's not working, why are we doing it? We, BDC, will provide the facilitator, who you will get to meet later on here, the program manager, who also you will get to meet, and the venue. And as I mentioned, in an ideal world, it will be in person and we'll get to meet each other and see each other. But understanding what's going on with COVID now, we have to keep everyone safe. And so where we aren't able to meet in person, we will meet over Zoom as we are today. And then what you get is new know-how and connections, a strategic growth action plan, which is that's the everything. That's the whole point of this thing. You will increase your sales and profits, and you get membership into the Enterprise National Network. So these are things that can help propel your business to where it needs to be. And I mentioned this earlier. So the program eligibility, again, you have to want to grow your business. You have to want to work on your business. We can't do it for you. All we can do is give you the tools to help you make it better, but you have to be the one that wants to do this. Again, you have to own and have operated a small business for at least 3 years and have at least one employee in addition to yourself, and ideally an annual sales between $150,000 and $5 million. So that's a broad range. So hopefully we'll get quite a few of you. So on to the roles. The facilitators, again, will be there right with you to help you through the curriculum. And T. Oganyemi, who will be the facilitator, has been teaching it for as long as I have. So he's very versed and he loves it. And his passion is evident. You can feel it. Kalina Outerbridge, who some of you may have met already in the breakout session, is going to be working alongside T. So she's going to be trained or has been trained to deliver the curriculum as well. And she will sit through an audit and maybe facilitating some of the courses as well. We also have a local program manager, and that will be Ms. Valita Brown, and she assists the facilitators, but she also is your go-to person. So if you need support or need something, she is the person that can support you in that role. And then Richard Augustus also is the co-program manager. And then we have Enterprise, who they're very hands-on. They support us. So whenever we need help, we call on Pierre or Tanisha, and they are right there to support us with whatever we need, whether it's curriculum-based, whether it's the online platform. In addition, they are the ones that will be reaching out to get the annual surveys and the metrics. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Pierre.
Thank you very much, Jamila. It's a pleasure to be here today and to see your face. And so I want to at first just thank you all for taking the time this morning to learn more about this program. It shows your dedication to try to grow your business. And so props to you. I'm really happy that you guys came today. But as Erica mentioned earlier, we have been working in Bermuda since about 2015. And it's been a pleasure just to see the transformation in some of the businesses that's taken the program. And since 2018, we started working with BEDC, and it's been amazing. Erica, Jamila, and the rest of the team are great, and I'm so happy that this year they are able to offer this program for free to allow more participants to participate in it. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. And Jamila, do you mind sharing the slide? I don't think everybody can see the slide.
Oh, y'all can't see? Let me see.
Jamila did an amazing job with the slides. So yeah, I missed some amazing slides.
Let me see what happened, what I did. So
I think you just had to reshare when she came back.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna end the slideshow so I can go back down here and share screen. Here we go. Share. And let me put it back in slideshow. Y'all can see that now?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And so Enterprise is, so my name is Holden Peter, and I'm a program manager on the programs team at Enterprise. And as Jamila mentioned, me and also my colleague Tanisha, we will be supporting this program. And Enterprise is a national nonprofit that's headquartered in Boston. We have been doing this work since 2004, and one of our taglines is inclusive economy starts here. And so our mission as an organization is to build an inclusive economy through the growth of established small businesses that are located in low and moderate income communities or minority owned. And so what that means is really the businesses that are underrepresented and also underutilized. And so, as I mentioned, we have been around since 2004. And one of the great things is we have seen just the impact of the program even during the Great Recession in 2008. And even during that time, the SBA saw the value of the program, and we were able to establish a partnership with them. It started off with 10 locations, but because of just the effectiveness of the program, it landed to about 60 different locations nationwide. And the beautiful thing about that is that because the SBA is a government, even though there's been 3 different presidents in the US, they all saw the value of it, and they put their political things aside and made sure that they invested into this program. And so that just shows you that this is a program that you can definitely trust. Over the years, we have been able to impact. It says 8,000, but we're getting very close to 9,000, and we're in over 75 locations right now. And one thing I personally love is just the fact that this program has been able to allow business owners to create jobs at 11 times the rate of the private sector. And then one of the recognition that we really appreciate is just the World Bank. The World Bank has taken the time to really just analyze different programs throughout the world. And they have chosen Enterprise as one of 25 businesses that's really doing effective work to help second stage businesses. And so for us, we really do appreciate, that recognition that they see the value of this program, and the value of the curriculum and the impact it's having, not just on business owners, but especially minority and women-owned businesses. And so small business capacity. And so for us, our sweet spot is we really want to focus on second stage businesses. Because there's a lot of stuff out there to help startups. But one thing that we have come to realize is that many people, and maybe some of you guys, might have started businesses out of necessity or out of a passion. You found something that you love, and you like, you know what, let me just start a business out of this and see if I can get paid. Or you lost a job, and you realize that, okay, I need to start a business to take care of myself and my family. And so, but the thing that we realize is that a lot of businesses sometimes get stuck. And all the stuff that they started doing is they don't know what else to do to take it to the next level. And that's kind of where we want to come in. We want to come in, as Jamila mentioned, to provide you with the business know-how, the connection, and also with the help you create a very strong strategic growth plan that can help you take your business to the next level. And so, to summarize this, I know this is to summarize what this page is saying is that the way we have structured the program is we don't want you to just learn, because there's a lot of programs out there where you can learn, or you can take a webinar and you learn something. But what we really want is that we want you to learn it and be able to apply it, and then come back and be able to learn from it as well. And so what I mean by that is that, the class is bi-weekly, because you go to class in session 1, you learn something, and then between the next class, you're gonna go back into your business and try to see if you can incorporate this. You will succeed, you will fail. Either way, you're gonna come back to the class and be able to talk to the classmate, talk to your CEO group, and be able to kind of reflect on what worked and what didn't work, and then be able to change. But throughout the process of the 6 months, and what we hope is that your behavior is changing, your mindset is changing, so that you can get ready for the next level. And so that's really our desire. We really want to make sure that, as you're creating this growth plan, it's not just a plan that you're creating, but you are changing as well, so that you can be the leader that you need to be for your business, and you can be the one that can drive it to the next level. And so at Enterprise, impact, personally for me, that's one of the things I love about Enterprise, and one of the reasons why I started working there is just that focus on impact. I've been in nonprofit and doing community service for a long time, but I think one thing I love is that everything they do is about impact. And so from the moment you join the program, what we do is called a business assessment. Is we get it basically kind of get an overview of where you at in your business now. And then throughout the program, we have different surveys that we do to really help tailor the program to you, because this program is for you. And that's one thing I'm gonna say, this program is for you. You guys have so much education, and you guys have so much value from just running your business and whatever other education that you have. And so what we really believe is that you, with the facilitator, will be able to bring that knowledge that you can share with everybody. But during each session, what we do is after each session, we do what we call a session evaluation, just to make sure that you got what you were supposed to get in the class. And if you don't, either me or Tanisha will be able to work in the back end to really work with the team to figure out how we can tailor or make any adjustment to make sure that you're getting what you need to get. And then halfway through the program, we have something that's called a Midway Survey, where we really just stop with them, with the program team, to really just assess what we need to start, what we need to stop, and what we need to continue. Because if you are not getting what you need to get in this program, then we need to make some changes. But from the experience from working with BEDC, it's never really a big change. It's really just, okay, this person is asking for this. How can we help them better? Because BEDC and Enterprise in general, we really want to support you. And one thing I say is, from the moment you step into the class starting in session 0, you are part of the family. The BEDC family, I believe by now there may be over 100 participants in Bermuda. I'll have to double check that data. But within Enterprise, from the moment you step in, you join the Enterprise network through Enterprise Connect, and so you are part of the family. And the family is there to support you. But then going back to what I was saying, at the end of the program, we do what we call a final feedback survey, just to really just make sure that everything that you were supposed to learn, you got, and then work with the team to figure out how we can plan for next year. And then post the program, we do what we call a 3 years. We follow you for 3 years, because the strategic growth plan that you're creating is a 3-year strategic growth plan. And so we want to make sure that, your business, we tracking you to see if your business is continuing to grow. And if there's any adjustment, after every year we provide BEDC with a report. And based on the report, we work with them to see, okay, how can we better support the alumni that have graduated? This is the metrics that we are getting from the alumni. And what can we support? So basically what I'm saying is, once you graduate, we're not going to let you go. You're going to be here. We're going to support you. And so I said all of that. Sorry, if I'm talking fast, please let me know. But I said all of this to kind of lay the foundation, because the data that you are looking now is data that we have collected from our annual assessment. And annual assessment, this data comes from about 2,000 businesses that we have surveyed from the last time we did this survey. And so what you can see is 40% of the alumni businesses operate in LMI communities. What I personally really love is just the fact that 77% revenue growth for minority-owned businesses, and 78% of the business reported being profitable even during COVID, and 97% of the businesses recommend the program. As I mentioned earlier, this program has been around since 2004, and it has been effective even during the Great Recession. And so one thing we know is that this program works, and it helps businesses build resilience. And with COVID, a lot of people were tested. And I know you guys as entrepreneurs, and even organizations like BEDC and Enterprise, we were tested as well, and we had to pivot. But what we have seen is that the fundamentals that this program teaches you, it helps you to make your business more resilient. One personal story I have is in Indiana, one of the Latino businesses that took our program, right before COVID, they were about to get a big contract, but unfortunately COVID happened and they lost it. And for a long time, the wife was trying to get the husband to focus on just the numbers but for him, it was because he was so sales focused, it wasn't important to him. But during COVID, as everything was happening, he started to listen to his wife because they both took the class and he saw the importance of it. And because of their focus on, focusing on the numbers, they were able to really maintain their business during COVID, because if they didn't focus on the numbers and try to save those 5,000 in different contracts that they had, they could have went out of business. And so that's just one small example of just how, because of just them focusing on the details, the cash flow of the business, and all these different things, they were able to make sure that the structure of the business was good until it was time to come back again to grow their business once COVID kind of lifted, because their business is more people related. And so some of the fundamentals you see here, I'll just highlight some of them. You have confidence in your overall leadership. I think that's a big one. Even right now in Greensboro, there was a participant who graduated, and I think she was doing a great job running her business. But I think one thing she struggled with was she struggled to have confidence in herself. And after taking this program, one thing that she realized is that she knew a lot of this stuff, but then there were certain systems and stuff that she had to implement. And so taking this program, it really allowed her to, one, have confidence that, okay, I've been doing a good job and as in leading my business, but these are some of the things I need to do to really thrive. And so just seeing that transformation and even some pictures of her at graduation to me was really great. You have confidence in retaining existing customers. During the marketing session, you will have you even talk to some old clients that you might have lost. So that way you can learn, what might have happened, and you can learn from that so that you can be a better, provide better customer service to all your business, all your clients, and you value of government contracts and confidence in applying for government support. And so I think because of just everything that you're going to learn and the things that you're going to put in place after this program, you'll be better equipped to really present and go after some of the contracts that I know will help you with your business. And so I believe this is the last slide for Enterprise, but as I mentioned, I truly believe this program is going to help you. And later on, T is going to kind of go through the program to really highlight some of the curriculum and also the program structure. But I'll be in the back in case you need anything.
Thank you, Pierre. That's great. And now we have T, and T will be the facilitator for the course. And he's going to take you through the actual curriculum and expose you to what it is that's going to help you reach those sales and reach the objectives that you set for yourself. So I'll turn it over to T.
All right. Good day, everybody. I'll make this actually short and sweet because I know you probably have questions at the end of it. And so the diagram you have in front of you, the slide, let me first talk about the first line in blue. Okay, so the course itself is, it's delivered over 13 comprehensive sessions. So each session will be for around 3 hours, and then the sessions actually can be grouped into 4 modules. The first module that you see there is business strategy and leadership. The idea will be that the first 3 sessions will focus on assessing your leadership skills, identifying and setting strategic goals that you need to grow your business. And you'll also be forming CEO mentoring groups. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So those first 3 sessions will be focused on that. The 3 sessions for the second module is focused on financial management. Now, this is a session people find very interesting because a lot of people are not very familiar. They're not friendly with their financials. And that's why it's a very important module. In it, you're going to learn about key financial statements and how all the financial statements relate to one another. That's very important. You're going to learn how to create financial dashboards with key ratios that's going to allow you to effectively monitor your businesses. You'll also be able to, let me put it this way. We're not going to teach you everything about accounting or finances, but you're going to be comfortable about your own financials and be able to use it effectively to monitor the financial health of your company. So that's what we're going to do. The next three sessions, we'll go to the module of sales and marketing. So here, having obtained a clear understanding of your financials, you now begin to identify which products and which customers promise to be more profitable to you. So we're looking at building profitable sales. You'll be looking at which markets have the greatest potential for growth. You'll be able to better understand your competition and the needs of your customers and how to effectively reach your customers to improve sales. So that third module is focused on sales and marketing. And the fourth module then looks at resources. It's basically getting what you need to grow. How do you need to grow with all these things that you've identified? Do you have the human and financial resources? You'll be able to learn how to identify that so you can achieve your growth plans. And then how to identify and secure key talent. We need the right, personnel. You said the biggest assets in any business are the people. How do you identify and get the key talent so that you don't just have a turnover of personnel, which can be very costly? And then also, how do you get the financial resources that you need? How do you secure, the financing, whether it's private financing or public capital? How do you do that? So we're going to touch on that as well and be able to give you some assistance. So the final session, which is the 13th session, is then when you get an opportunity to deliver a presentation, and you showcase the growth action plans that you've put in place, and you talk about the strategic growth action plan that you've actually made at the end of the program, and that you'll be able to deliver that to your peers and to a panel of experts, and you'll be able to do that confidently. Because of the past cohorts and the courses that we've had, I can say that confidently, that at the end of this course, you'll be able to stand in front of a group of professionals and experts and be able to present your businesses very confidently. That's one of the outcomes that I'm very proud of in this particular course. So in summary, there are 13 sessions delivered, arranged in groups of 3. There are different modules that I've just gone through. And then the final session, there's a presentation of your strategic growth action plan. Okay, so what are the program components? Because I've just gone through what the topics are and what the teaching and some of the facilitation, what it's going to involve. But what are the components, other components of the program that make this successful? That, if you look, when you look at the orange section there, you'll see it broken down into 4 as well. There's actually a little bit more. So I'm going to ask Jamila, if you go to the next slide, I'll first start with your business growth self-assessment. Is that the first slide there, Jamila? Okay, all right. But this is actually the deliverable at the end of the programs that I've been talking about, that you're going to make a presentation about. And it's going to give students key information on business performance, helps. All right, I'm so sorry. That's why I got a little confused there. Please pardon me. Is the self-assessment. This business growth self-assessment, you actually do this before the program starts, and you should have completed it by the first session that we have. And what that is really doing is giving you an opportunity to assess your business so that you understand how you're performing right now. You're able to identify the opportunities that you have to grow the business. So it's really a baseline, because when we're talking of strategic growth action, we're trying to take you from point A to B. If you don't know where you are for point A, how can you determine where you want to go to? So that's what that business growth self-assessment does. It also gives us, information about your business so that we can better tailor some of the exercises in the program. We can determine what live cases what businesses would be most appropriate for certain live cases that would most benefit the entire cohort. So it gives us a lot of information as well. And then the live cases, instead of using, established, because in a typical MBA program, the kind of examples we'll be looking at will be the large organizations. So you'll be using like Google, Coca-Cola, Ford Motors, and things like that, just to be able to illustrate the basic management concept and business concepts. But here, we'll be actually focusing on your particular business. Okay, so it gets you directly applying the principles to your business and working on your business, which is how you're going to gain the understanding of the business and gain confidence. Okay, and then it's going to focus on what real entrepreneurs are coping with in real life, rather than looking at multinationals and different organizations. So it's very relevant and is focused. Okay, so the concepts are more easily understood and applied when we're looking at our own businesses. Next slide, please. All right, guest experts. So part of the program as well is that in addition to the facilitation, you have in over half of the sessions, local guest experts, accountants, bankers, human resource experts, and etc. They'll be invited to provide you with, further knowledge and expertise. You'll have an opportunity to ask important questions, so that you can consolidate your understanding, or in particular for your business itself. And then they will be able to even offer additional resources to address your business needs within the program and beyond the program. So you have guest experts that will be, adding to that, and it increases the opportunity to expand your network beyond the classroom. Okay. Another one is CEO mentoring groups. Now, who are the CEOs? Well, you are the CEOs, and you come with valuable business experience that is beneficial, in exchanging ideas and strategies. So beyond the classroom, you're going to engage in small CEO mentoring groups of your peers. So, you'll be divided in groups, and you're going to meet on a regular basis, to discuss, business challenges, provide mentorship to one another and feedback. Okay. We found that in this mentoring group, you're able to build lasting professional and personal relationships. There. Now, the mentoring groups, there's some structure to it. So during your meetings, you'll have some planned topics for discussion and shared learning. So you'll be meeting a few times during the program. Okay. All right. So all of this then culminates into the schedule that we've drawn here. If you can see, we have the dates. It's scheduled to start on the 8th of November. And you can see it's approximately fortnightly, that kind of spacing to allow you to be able to do, the assignments, because this is a very practical program as well. It's very hands-on. You're working on your business, and what you put into it, you're going to get a lot more out of it. But it's spaced out in that way. And so you will notice if you have a look at the schedule, that even the CEO groups, which are in yellow, is been scheduled in there when the CEO groups will meet. It also put there in red when the strategic growth action plan, when they'll be due. Now, they'll be due in stages. So don't get too confused when you see growth action plan and how we're bandying that around. But we're going to make that crystal clear, right in every stage of the course. Because what we're trying to do is take you from A to C, or you're taking yourself from A to B to C, wherever you want to go. And this has to be done incrementally, because you'll find that you'll set goals right from the beginning of the program, and then you begin to revise them and increase and change until the end of the program, where you come up with your strategic growth action plan. I try to keep it very brief. I know there'll be questions, so let me just stop there. But the ultimate goal is to have this strategic growth action plan. Okay, and I should say is why it's very important is how you're going to get to where you want to go is not by just writing anything on a sheet of paper. That won't take you anywhere. It's by analyzing, knowing exactly what you actually want to achieve, yeah, where you want to go, and really knowing realistically how you can get there, you know, by making smart goals, by planning smartly, and by ensuring that you have the right resources, you write the right knowledge, you have the right support to be able to get there. Is when you articulate that you will actually reach that goal. If you don't articulate it properly, you will not reach the goal. And I'm proud to say that we find that during the course, many, even before we finish the course, I've already achieved a lot, if not half their strategic goals, because they've learned to now focus and attune themselves in what they need to achieve. So I very much encourage the course. I vouch for it, not just because I'm a facilitator, but because it yields results. So wish you all the best, and I hope to see you guys in November.
Thank you, T.
Jamila. Yeah.
I appreciate that. So that's a detailed overview of what to expect. And as I mentioned earlier, you got to be committed. You have to be willing to put in the time and trust when I tell you, when you do that, you can reap the benefits. And there's no better person than to talk about it than someone who's actually been there and done that. So next up is Pinky, who also took the course and is a graduate of the program. So I just would like for you to hear from her own opinion about the program and how it helped her business. So without further ado, Pinky, owner of Salon Pink.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Like babbling on. Like I don't think anyone hears me. Hi, everyone. So I took the program years ago when I had a 6-month ill baby, and it was very trying, but I took it as an opportunity to level up and decide that I was going to do it and be committed to it, because as an entrepreneur, there's always something going on. There's always lots on your plate. You just kind of have to stay organized and get through it, right? 3 main things I took from it were my personal goals versus my business goals, and how they aligned and how they met in the middle to make sense for my business, because I realized that I was driving the ship, and if personally and business-wise they didn't meet, then I had an issue and there was going to be friction. One of the other things that I took away from the course was knowing my numbers. I came away feeling like if it doesn't make dollars and cents, it doesn't make sense. And when you're in business, you have to do things strategically so that you can make money. So many people focus on the revenue that's coming through the door, but the one thing I've learned about being in business is that revenue will come through the door every day, whether it's too much, whether it's not enough, whether it makes you just like plateau or whatever the case may be, it will come to the door every day. But the expenses that go up and down as the years go along, and the bit in the middle, so when revenue and expenses meet, the profit in the middle is what really matters. And then that helps you to do your pricing and helps you to be able to clean up your expenses and knowing your numbers better and figuring out like whether this is a lifestyle business or whether it's a business that's going to make you tons of money or not, or it's going to just provide you a better lifestyle, or whatever the case may be, what you do with the profit. And that was really helpful, is honing in on my numbers. And then the last thing that I took away from it is to always have an exit plan. I find locally that we open up businesses and we think it's going to be forever, but it's not. It's a stepping stone to go somewhere else. So working on the business as opposed to in the business helps you to scale the business and be able to exit, and the business can work without you. Now, you may not ever want to sell the business, but then one day you may come across financial hard times, and one of the things you can do is liquidate your business and sell it. But if you are the business, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to sell it and for what it's worth or what you believe it's worth, and move along. And then that kind of comes back into knowing your numbers and understanding your profit and loss in your balance sheet as well, because on paper, if your business it's financially making sense, then no one's going to want to buy it. As well as if you don't have systems and processes that match the numbers, so that you can just give them a well-packaged business, sell them a well-packaged business that's worth what you know it's worth, then it's not going to make any sense. So those were the 3 takeaways that I took away from the course. And I think I took the course when my business was 4. And those takeaways helped me to change my business tremendously. And we are 10 this year, and we are scaled about 90% of the way. And I'm happy.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Pinky. I appreciate that. I always say, you know, we could talk, you know, forever about the program and what it's going to do, but the real is when you have an entrepreneur who's actually gone through the process, so they know how much work it took. And like Pinky said, she had a young baby at the time, so for her, she had to definitely make the time to do all of the other things. You saw the course outline to ensure that she was successful. And I think that I'm encouraging all of you, if you're willing to make the effort and put the time in, you will. There's no way that you won't benefit from it, because the practices and the things that you learn will help you to take that next step. Like Pinky said, you have to determine what's going to work for you. And I always use the example is sometimes people learn through this course that, oh, what they thought they were going to do isn't actually the reality. It isn't actually what they need to do. We had someone who thought that they were going to leave the business to their family, and turns out the family had no interest whatsoever in taking over the business. So what do you do now? Your plan was to have this legacy business, but no one wants it. So you have to now know what you need to do to package it properly so you can actually sell it to someone else, as opposed to leaving it for the family. So these are all things that are discoverable when you go through the course. So thanks again, Pinky, for sharing your experience.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to quickly go through the application process. Of course, we're accepting applications now. We only have 15 spaces available. And having said that, we keep it that small, even though virtually, you know, we can go bigger, but the amount of work that's
It's clear that Jamila has frozen, so hopefully she can get back on pretty quickly. I don't know if there's anyone else that could speak while we're waiting.
Okay. I can talk about it. Unfortunately, the slide just went down because she left. But one of the reasons why we want to keep the class at that size is because we want to make sure that we give you all the attention that we need. Usually within a class, we really recommend only 15 to 20 because we want to make sure that we are there to support you. I think you guys are fortunate because you have T, you have Kalina, and then Jamila will also be there in the back end, but you also have a leader. So you have a bigger team that's really there to walk with you. And so we don't just want people to be in the class, but we want to make sure that you are in the class and we are walking with you through it all. And that's one of the reasons why we don't want a big class. We want to make sure that this class is and it's the right of participants as well. And so we are grateful that we are getting a good amount of applicants. And so if you are interested, definitely apply. But Jamila's here. I'm gonna pass pass it back to her. Oh, it looks like she's freezing again.
doing
Okay.
its own thing.
Yeah, it's freezing right now. And so, Jamila, you still here? You on mute right now.
Sorry, it keeps going in and out. So I'm not gonna screen share because I don't know if it's like messing up the internet, but like I said quickly, all the materials are provided. You get your binder. There are 2 books that we will be reading that will correspond with the modules that you will be taking. It's called Managing by the Numbers, and access to Enterprise Connect, which is the online platform where, in addition to having, thanks Pierre, in addition to having all of the hard copies of the books, you will also be able to have all those materials online as well. And so in this presentation, I have included a link to the application, and the next slide is actually a picture of what it looks like. So it's on our website at bedc.bm. Click on it as you see someone who looks familiar, Pinky. She is our resident poster child for the program. But no, if you are able to go right on there, you can apply right there online. And I just want to remind you of the date. So if in the next slide, we need you to complete your applications by the 30th. We will be looking at having interviews between the 4th and 14th of October so that we can select the participants by October the 18th. One of the things that I have not included on here is that we are planning to have a financial boot camp for those who may or may not be have financial statements ready, which are imperative to be able to go through this curriculum in the financial module. So for those who may not have financial statements ready, we are prepared to offer a financial boot camp to get you ready before the start of the course on November 8th. So I'm just letting you be advised of that, but these are the dates. September 30th is the deadline for applications. October 4th through the 14th, we'll be scheduling interviews, and then we will make the selection on October 18th. And so if the next slide, we have any questions, we are happy to take them now. And you can unmute yourself and ask your question or type it in the chat. No questions? Everybody's done to silence?
I like Michelle's
right,
question.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't meet the criteria, so I'm interested to see like how much flexibility there is around that, which is.
Okay. So, I mean, perhaps we can have a conversation offline. Is it your business is too new? Is that what it is, Neil?
Yeah, I'm new, so I mean, it's
Okay.
something I've been doing for a long time, but turning it into a business is different.
Okay. Yeah, we can have a separate conversation to talk about how we could probably still support you.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Here I am.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. What others are there any suggestions, or even one suggestion of what we can do now if we don't qualify for the 3 years? Anything that we could do in our business to make us successful for when we do qualify on year 3? Because I've done it, I'm in 18 months, just maybe 20 months at this point in time.
Okay. Well, I think like Neil, we can have a further conversation because we know that in Bermuda, there's some people may or may not meet the criteria, but the key thing that I think I want to impress is you have to have some sales and you have to have some things in order for what we're going to be discussing to make sense, right? Because the program is supposed to help you scale. So you may not be ready. Like some people are just getting started or, just getting the business ready. So the conversations that we'll be having about identifying things that work and don't work, you haven't figured that out yet. So I think that we do have other things that can assist, Michelle, if for some reason this isn't right for you. But I think if you apply and we have a further conversation, we can kind of dig through it and see whether or not it makes sense.
Okay, so still go ahead and do all the paperwork.
So because I know you, right? So I know the business and all of that, and that it was around. You just are new to owning it. So
yes.
we can have a further conversation. I would probably still tell you to apply. And when we go through the interviews, we can have that conversation to see what would be required and how it could work for you.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got another one. I saw
Yeah.
the 3 hours sort of every other week once we get up and running. What sort of time do you expect candidates to sort of budget for the non-class time, if you like? Is it 3 hours a week or 5 hours a week, or do you have that kind of metric range available?
You want to speak to that, Pierre or T?
I can.
Maybe Pinky could speak to it since you've been.
Yes.
I think you have to do what works for you and works for your schedule. One thing I've learned is that an overworked, overconsumed with information entrepreneur is never good for anyone. And as the owner of your company, you're the visionary, and you have to be able to drive it forward. So trying to find delegation within your team so that you can work on the things that matter, and that then you can also focus on your health, like eating properly, exercise and sleep and all those things, because that's going to help as well. So I say what works for you, but just remember to keep in the back of your mind not to overwork yourself, because then things get really foggy and you have no idea what's going on. But it's also a mindset shift. You just have to stick with it, right? Maybe it's a season. It's reason, season, lifetime. It's not forever. It's a season of your life. The reason is you've got to get this course completed so you can finish with a proper strategy to move forward. So maybe it's for the next 6 months, you go ham, and then you have your strategy, and then you start to delegate and put your strategy into play. But it just matters what works for you, and what the bigger goal is.
Yes, if I could add to that, it is important, yes, that you put in the time, and that's very good advice that Pinky has given you right there. I'll also like to remind you that you're working on your business, so that's actually good. It's not that you're doing something theoretical, but you're actually, the time you're spending, you're knowing more about your business, because all that you're learning, you are applying to the business, so that's a great benefit as well.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, because I know people have raised the question, whether or not they qualify, and you guys are willing to have a separate conversation with those individuals when they apply. But should it still turn out that you don't qualify, do you have any maybe course recommendations or other services that can be utilized to help qualify for a program like this? And I'm sorry, I came in the program late, but what I've heard so far just sounds amazing. And I would definitely love to do it, but I'm in the same boat with the other two who, had that concern that I don't think, I would qualify, because I'll be honest, I haven't really taken my business, I guess, as serious as I could. Because it is a part-time thing for me. I do have a full-time job. So it hasn't been profitable to the point where, I can quit my full-time job. So, I just kind of, I guess, if I didn't qualify, what else would you recommend? Because this course just sounds amazing, just for knowledge as well, just to know.
Yeah, it is. And so this is our enterprise. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So this is an accelerator program. So like we said, you want to have some numbers, you want to have some sales, you want to at least have one other employee, because that is the data that you're going to use to help get you to the next level. We do have our Enterprise Bermuda Incubator Program, which is for startup businesses and businesses that are 1 year and younger. So you can come into that program with just an idea. It could be a part-time business. You could be in business for a year or younger, and you don't necessarily have to have another employee. And this program is also free, and it's for 12 months. And it allows you to do all of the things that you would need to do to ready yourself for being in the accelerator. So the educational courses that we have, building out your brand, understanding financials, all of those things happen in that incubator program. So that would be what I would recommend as a precursor to enrolling in the Streetwise MBA program, because the curriculum is great, it's fabulous, but literally if you don't have that data by which you can apply, it will be like you're almost a fish out of water, because you just don't have what's necessary to help you to build it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so the incubator course, is that going on now or?
It is. We actually start taking applications for next year in November. So we currently, we have a cohort of people. We started a little later because we let the previous cohort stay in a little bit longer, because COVID kind of disrupted how we typically do things. But I'm happy to provide you and anyone else for that matter with more information about that and how it works. But that's really what it is. It's that program that gives you that first start and gets you going, so that you are in a position to kind of build it out and build it up so that you'll be ready once you've been in it for about 3 years to take this particular course.
Okay, that sounds great. I would definitely want more information on that. I think that probably sounds more of what I should be doing at this stage. So yeah.
All right. And what's your name? This Tashay?
No, this is Alana.
Alana, okay.
Just to add to what Jamila said, because we also know we want to build up the capacity for supporting startups, our Enterprise Bermuda Incubator Program, which also comes with a physical space. So you essentially have an office space for a year, but we are expanding that program. So currently we're building out 3 additional incubators throughout the island. So in the West, in the East, and Central. So with that application process, those incubators will probably come online before the one that we currently have going right now, which would end in March, right, Jamila? So the 12th of March. The other thing is that all of the courses or the curriculum within the incubator, you have access right now to participate in them individually outside of the incubator program. So some of them are already going on. And then, so we have on our website, we have a rolling schedule of courses and multi-week courses that people can register for at any time based on the availability of their schedule.
Okay. So when would be, sorry.
Go ahead.
So when would be the next, I guess, cycle for the incubator program? Because you said you start taking applications in November.
Yes. So like Erika said, with the incubator program, it was tied to space. So currently we have 8 spaces that have been assigned out, and it's currently running now, but we have 3 other locations that are opening up. So the opportunity for at least another 24 or so entrepreneurs. So the particular program that we're in now doesn't end till next year, March, but with the addition of those 3 other incubator spaces, so there's opportunity to get those going and to start accepting applications for those now. For like a first of the year start, let's say for a January start.
Okay, and would you guys advertise that on the website?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so once applications are open and all of that, we'll make sure that all of our stakeholders know. We'll send it out. It'll be similar to how we're doing with this one, right? Where you know, it's on Facebook, we're telling people about it on the radio. Because we definitely want you to take advantage of what is going to help you to get where you need to go in terms of your business.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. No problem. Are there any other questions?
I think it would be helpful to just hear very quickly, Jamila, on what the benefit is of the CEO mentor group and what that looks like. Maybe can this Pinky can speak to this a little bit also.
Okay, so from my perspective, I am a firm believer that it's easier when you actually are doing the work, right? Or when you're hearing from someone who is in a similar scenario as you. And so in the same way as we rely on mentors, what we're asking is that you, as the CEO of your company, will be working with other CEOs, and you guys are essentially forming a group, and you're going to be mentoring each other. So what we have seen is that in some instances, when you identify a challenge, someone in your CEO mentoring group may have experienced that challenge and overcome that challenge. So they're in a position to, all right, thanks, Neil. They're in a position to share with you some of the strategies that they used to overcome that challenge, and vice versa. So it does create this kind of camaraderie. You know how sometimes people say entrepreneurship can be a lonely road. So with this mentoring group that you're created, you are working together collectively to get through the curriculum, to solve problems, and to create opportunities. Because in some instances, people have partnered with each other to further their business and further the objectives that they have as identified in their strategic growth action plan. So it really creates opportunities for you to deliver on what you identify as problems that need to be resolved. And I don't know if Pinky wants to add to that. Is she still here? I don't know. I can't.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, there she.
I'm a strong believer that two brains are better than one, and you just don't get ahead alone in life, period. And I think sometimes when we're venting, we talk to our friends and our family, just like we think our friends and our family are our ideal customers, and they're really not. If they're not doing what you're doing, they will never understand what it is that you're going through. And like the greatest of greatest people, like still have mentors to today. Like I follow Tony Robbins a lot, and he still has a mentor. Warren Buffett still has a mentor. Like the most successful people have mentors, because you just can't do it by yourself. And it's like, even if you call up and just be like, I just need to talk so you can listen and get it off my chest, and they understand what you're doing, and there's no judgment passed, as opposed to doing it with one of your ace girls, and they obviously are going to have your back, as opposed to not getting you to think clearly. And I just think mentorship is just amazing. Luckily for me, I have about 5 or 6 mentors that pay me to do their hair every day, every week, or in a 6-week span. But outside of that, I do have a mentor and an official mentor, and it's amazing. He is just amazing. Like I can sit and be all flustered, and we go through all these conversations, and it makes it all good, you know? And I'm like, okay, cool. Now game plan, this is what we're going to do. And off we go, because they help cut the emotion out of it. Also, I had one particular person in my group that her and I still chat all the time. And it was just perfect. We went through the course together. She was actually the one Jamila was talking about, thought was going to be her business, thought her business was going to be a legacy business. And we chat, and we were able to like relate so many things and lean on each other to get through. She's a lot older than me, and never ever thought that we would forge a relationship, but we have, and it's been great.
Thank you for that. Well, it looks like we're nearing the end of the presentation. If there are any other questions, Pierre, if you want to just advance to the next slide. There were just some quotes from previous people who had taken the course. So we also allowed nonprofits to take the course. And Elaine Butterfield was the Chief Executive Officer and the Center on Philanthropy at the time. And she said that it was one of the best courses she's ever undertaken in terms of achieving the aims of the course. And she benefited from it greatly. The next is from 2 other CEOs who took the course. Dakia O'Brien And she said she signed up on a whim. She wasn't sure what to expect, but she's glad she did it because the program forced her to look at herself and her business differently. After having a failed restaurant, she was ready to dig back in with knowledge she gained from the Streetwise MBA. And I could say that she's gone on to start something else. And I'm sure that a lot of what she learned there is applicable in the new venture that she's taken on. Aisha Spencer is the CEO of Three Graces Day Spa. And she said she took the course because she and her husband run the course. They knew they needed to move to another level from where they've been for the last 2 years in their business. And the greatest help is she's more confident in her numbers when to make certain changes, delegating tasks and outsourcing when needed. Knowledge in her overall business has increased. So these are just some of the entrepreneurs that have completed the course and are still actively pursuing entrepreneurship and their businesses. And so I would just invite you to follow up with us. On the next slide, you will have the contact details. Valita, who was on the call as well, maybe she can wave so people know which one it is. But all the information is on our website. You can email Ms. Brown directly because she will be acting as the program manager, and or info@BEDC. Will go to all of us. But at the end of the day, we are here to support you. We are here to help you develop and to do business better. That's our goal. And when you do that, we all benefit, right? Because now you can hire more people who need to be hired, and more money is flowing in the community. So overall, we see it as this cyclical circle that everybody participates in and everybody can benefit from. So please do fill out applications, sign up before the 30th, and we look forward to supporting you. So thank you all for being here.